Coming up on this week's episode, NIAF, Italy reports about the National Italian American Foundation's 41st anniversary weekend in Washington, D.C. Enjoy the second part of our reportage as we tour the fair featuring important Italian brands present at the convention and an Italy panel presenting previous and future projects. Yes, a new episode full of surprises, news, and interviews.
Today is the second annual Expo Italana, a tradition we started last year. It's the largest gathering of Italian and Italian-American businesses and cultural institutions and vendors. It's the best place in America to see Italian culture in one day. For us, we want this weekend to be a magnet for people, particularly young people. And over the years, we've been able to increase those numbers really healthily.
So what are you doing today here?
Today we bring the real Little Italy in the Bronx to Washington, D.C. We're very fortunate having people like NIAF, the National Italian American Foundation, support Italian Americans across the country and Italians. Because today you're going to see 50% of people from Italy. And when they see fresh mozzarella, they don't believe it, because in Italy solo la casafecci si fa la mozzarella con la macchina. Noi facciamo giornalmente mozzarella fatta in casa. Chi mangi bene, vive bene. And we're very fortunate having a president like John Viola. John frequents Italy, always in Italy. He sees things in Italy, wants to do them here in America. And that's great for us, because somebody like me who's been in business, my father's in the real Little Italy on Arthur Avenue since 1947. My mother's family is there from 1922. So when you talk of passion, we do things the way we were taught years ago.
The Expo Brand Torino is a network of Italian small, medium companies of the Piemonte area. We have 6 companies of the network, a total of 14 companies. We have the magazine, beauty magazine, Estetica Network, and then we have the wine, and then we have the ice cream with Peppino, and the chocolate with Gobino, and the design that is myself, Pininfarina, who I am the chairman of Exclusive Brands Torino. We have on display 2 important brands, Italian brands, very special, very Italian, very quality, very emotional, that are Ferrari and Maserati. And people know that Pininfarina has a connection with Ferrari that started in the early 50s, was started by my grandfather and continued by my father and my brother and myself now. So it's a very nice story to tell, and we have California, Ferrari California and Maserati Gran Turismo here on display. These are 2, I think, 2 flags of Italian design here in the
new outfit of Alitalia.
Yes, it is quite new. We have been wearing this uniform since June of this year. We represent the Italian flag with red skirt and green gloves. Yeah, and we have got also the white shirt. It's a revolution. Now in Alitalia we got a revolution about the uniform, about the service. We have a quite new service in business class. You know the concept of dine anytime. When guests come on board, we ask them if they want to sleep, if they want to have some rest, or if they want to eat. And we take notes of their wishes. So they decide when they want to eat. We as Alitalia brand are very proud to showcase our product to everybody here.
When I took this, started this project, I was trying to photograph my grandfather's dreamscape. At the dinner table, he said that he dreamt of Italy when he was a little boy. So I tried to stay true to that concept. The towns were so small, they didn't have pensione. So I would go to the priest and I would rent a room. He would know who I could rent a room from. So it was wonderful. So I'd spend a month in each town. This photograph was in the asilo. In these towns, if they saw you coming up the street, they would pull you in. So the teacher at the asilo wanted me to photograph her students. So this was 2 of the kids there. This is outside of the town. The man who lived here, he said, I met him in town, but he said his house was in Campania. And so we went up to his house. But what struck me is the haystacks in the photograph look like Monet's haystacks from 1890. But this is now in Italy, and still the haystacks are in the old-fashioned way. So it really was my grandfather's dreamscape. It hadn't changed.
We decided to come here because it's an important organization and a lot of people from all over the country come. So the Italian National Olympic Committee that are present in the United States is very sensitive about working with the organizations that are present in the community. We have a big program at CONI, the Italian National Olympic Committee, for the Italians abroad. And in the United States, there are a lot of Americans coming from Italy. So we are here to have a symposium. We will be discussing on the importance of sports activities for children to develop their brains in a very healthy way. And we hope that we'll reach a large population through our presence here in NIAF.
To be here represents for us many things. First of all, the importance of the Italian tradition and Italian background in doing successful business, and the value, of course, of a family company as Lavazza is the honor of representing the 4th generation, and the importance of America as well for my family and for my family business. We have been in America since 1991 with our subsidiary based in New York. We have a lot of expectation of growing in the United States, not only because the Italian community is very large, pretty big, so it's of course a natural first market for our company, but because America represents for a food company as Lavazza is a great opportunity, and maybe in the future probably the #1 market.
We're really proud to be able to have Italy as our partners. We love everything you guys are doing. We're big supporters and really excited about the partnership we've been able to create over these years to bring our shared message. I have the pleasure of introducing this panel today in 2 distinct parts. First of all, in introducing this great relationship and partnership that we at the Foundation have created with Italy. We've come closer and closer and closer together every year. We really love the product, we believe in the product, and we hope you do too. If you're experiencing it for the first time, I think you're going to see excellence and quality that we've all come to know from Italy in everything they do.
We were born in 2008 based in New York City and as a portal for bilingual information and entertainment about everything Italian in the United States, which in fact means not just Italian, but Italian American, and then everything that the American public at large loves about Italy. In 2017, let me anticipate this, in 2017 we'll go national, meaning, well, the web portal is national already, but the print magazine, which is a free press, it's going to be national too. So it will very probably lose the suffix NY and won't be Italy, New York, but will be Italy. It's also, there's two projects that we want to show. We have this two videos now, and it's two projects that we are very attached to.
So tell me about Vico. What was it like when you were a kid?
Era come una famiglia, quindi siamo cresciuti con nulla e ci siamo sempre divertiti. Quando sono venuto io in America poi, vivere nel Bronx è come se vivesse, è come se viveva in Italia, Gianni. Perché lì nel Bronx, ad Alto Revenue, anche da ora, c'era tutto, c'era. C'era una vita proprio che è come se svolgeva in una città. No, è come se svolgeva a Cosenza. Mi mancava l'affetto della famiglia.
Okay.
Mi mancavano. Anzi, quando loro mi scrivevano, io mi andavo a leggere le lettere nel gabinetto e piangevo. La nostra cucina è abbastanza european, quindi americano facciamo, il tacchino facciamo Thanksgiving.
Yeah, but I think the interesting part about our Thanksgiving specifically is that our Thanksgiving is like it's very Italian American Thanksgiving. So like, you know, we have a turkey, but at the same time we have lasagna, right? Yeah. I think that the real beauty of that simple fact that we eat lasagna on Thanksgiving is just so indicative of something so much greater, right? That, you know, as us as an Italian culture and us as an Italian heritage, that we've been able to, you know, combine ourselves so seamlessly with that of America, but at the same time not lose that which makes us so important, right? And that which makes us so unique, and, you know, whether that be food, family, tradition, all of these things. It's just kind of amazing that the Italian culture so uniquely has been able to do that and permeate every level of society.
I was, along with my grandfather, a part of one of the first series of conversations featured in Italy's Grandparents and Grandchildren in Italian America program, as you just saw. So my grandfather's words themselves did have profound impact on me. Whenever our family would gather around the table for Sunday dinner, over the clatter and clamor that is characteristic of Italian families, as I'm sure we all know here, my grandfather's voice always resonated. I was able to live vicariously through him while hearing his stories, right? Stories of his Italian homeland or of his immigrant experience, stories which helped me to found the foundation of my own identity. And so thanks to all four of my grandparents, all of whom I was blessed to be able to know, and specifically Nonno Gianni, from a young age I began to take pride in my Italian heritage, pride that I still hold dearly today. I'm proud to have been a part of this program because it is an everlasting testament, a time capsule of sorts. An everlasting testament or a time capsule of sorts to our Italian history. A world of a wave of immigrants that is slowly disappearing before our eyes as we Italian Americans become farther and farther removed from it. Programs of this nature help maintain that virtual link between the experiences of our forefathers and the experience of those of today's Italian Americans.
My parents didn't realize it because they would speak dialect, hoping my two brothers didn't speak Italian. I did not know my grandparents. My maternal grandparents had predeceased me, and my paternal grandparents were in Italy. I only met my grandfather. I met him once. But my next door neighbor raised me, Angela Maria. She lived to 102 years old. She spoke the very old dialect of our hometown. So my parents didn't realize I understood dialect. And they would speak dialect when they didn't want the kids to understand. Unfortunately, I did. And my brothers would say to me, what did mom and dad say? Well, if you don't cut it out and stop bothering me, they're sending you away to school. They believed me. They believed me. And I didn't realize this incredible gift from literally my next door neighbor. And I did call her Nonna. She was Angela Maria, but I called her Nonna. And my parents, and growing up, I didn't realize the difference of not, I just thought everybody grew up having pasta on Sundays. What did I know? And it wasn't until Fordham turned to meeting John Calvelli and later Louis Calvelli, and we're lifelong friends, that I realized I was with these other like-minded individuals and what my heritage was.
You know, one of my friends, Donna, often said, when you meet another Italian-American woman, it's like coming into a play on the second act. You know what the first act was all about.
Yeah. It was just a wonderful opportunity to have an exchange with her that I know, with all the time we spent together, we would not have had without Letitia's prompting. And I have only one regret, that I never had that conversation with my grandmother. And I was thinking this morning about her. She came over as a 16-year-old from Sicily. And the only conversation we had about her childhood was, so Grandma, what did you do when you were a little girl? And her answer was, I righted the donkey. And that's about all I could find out about her early years.
Well, my father was a musician, as I told you, and he loved all the Italian music. He was a band leader and played all the Italian-American weddings. But the one that always brings a tear to my eye, because it makes me think of my family, is Torna Sorrento.
And one day a guy came up to me and he said, I won't mention his name, how come you went to Villanova? I said, I went to Villanova because my brother went to Villanova. That's why I went to Villanova. I wanted to be an engineer. No, but all the Italians I know, the only ones that go to college are the children of the mafia. Was your father in the mafia? I said, no, my father wasn't in the mafia. Well, you're an exception. I thought about it after. And I remember talking to my mother, saying, Mom, this guy said this to me. And she said, don't let it bother you. Just show them that you're better than them. My children feel none of that. In fact, today, sort of being of Italian descent is a great thing.
From the cooking, I figured out that pasta could be a fast food. But the problem with pasta is it sheds starch. So I used engineering principles to figure out how to float the starch out of the water and cook the pasta based on the thickness, fresh pasta, because it's heat transfer. So if you set the thickness right and the heat, it makes one turn and the pasta is cooked.
So how long it takes?
55 seconds, 50 to 55 seconds.
I make a lasagna that could be used as a murder weapon. It's so heavy. It weighs like 500 pounds. It's got everything in it, and it's really, really good. But you eat it, you go into a coma immediately.
When I was in college, I was very interested in the Supreme Court, and I had actually had a little scholarship during the summer to go to Italy. This was the first time I had been, to study the Italian Constitutional Court, and that's what I wrote my senior thesis on. And so when I came back, I was trying to write something humorous for my entry in the yearbook, and I said, I dream of, you know, warming a seat on the Supreme Court. I never thought that it would happen.
Thank you. This editing of this very long conversation about leadership, Italian leadership in America was done on purpose in this way to show, to convey the idea that prominent leaders may also be human and may be funny and may say funny things and may cook wonderful lasagna as a mother would. So that was the idea. Not just serious. It's information, it's news, but this is also entertainment, and this is our message for Italy.
You know, growing up in Brooklyn, in this very interesting, in a way, almost a small town environment where everyone knew who you were, and everyone really had an identity. You were Italian, you were Jewish. That was about it. Sorry, the Irish didn't show up where we were. There was a Chinese restaurant, but you know, that wasn't significant. And you really identified with being Italian. And I thought, you know, when I left Brooklyn and I came to DC and I got involved in politics and various different things in professional life, I heard, I continue to this day, hear my grandfather's voice. Do you want to be a turtle or an eagle? Yeah, because, you know, you make decisions, they're not easy. And what's so wonderful about this series, when Matilda Cuomo was talking about his moral compass. So it's, you get your moral compass from your heritage. And so you're always taking this with you, no matter what the situation is, what the challenge is. So it's not just this kind of get together with NIAF and once a year you go to a gala and we sing songs and eat. You know, it is a reinforcement of what it means to have a moral compass, to be connected to a heritage that had so many challenges and yet knew what it meant to enjoy yourself because it's later than you think.
Thank you so much.